weird anonymous crunk core. I just feel like I remember walking around backstage and just like flumps of dust just flying around and just walking in dirt and in a good way, you know what I mean? It's that festival feeling where it's just like it's hot, it's sweaty, there's dust and dirt everywhere, and it's like every venue is kind of the same. They all have that feeling, you know what I mean? Like it's pretty rare where you have like a different feel. They're all like that, you know? So I just remember it was very memorable how we got such a good response, you know, because that was when like Warped was making the transition into a lot of younger kids coming to the festival, and I felt like we were kind of like somewhere in the middle, where it's like you've got those like old, really weird, bitter punk bands that are on Warped Tour, and they always are hating on the younger bands. Then you've got the younger bands, and like they're cocky and they want to like, you know, make their, you know, thing happen at Warped. And then we were kind of in the middle, you know what I mean, where it was like, we're not old enough to be cred, one of the cred punk bands, and yet we're not like one of these like 16-year-old boys, you know, bands. And I was surprised at how many like people in our demographic showed up to see us and a few other bands too. And it was really made me feel proud, because I went to Warped Tour growing up, and you know, it was an honor to do right by the festival. I guess every time I die. You know, like, it's weird. We actually share a lot of fans with them, but it's one of those bands where it's like, it's bizarre that we share a fan base. But it is weird to think that we would be friends with them, because they seem like some pretty, like, you know, like, intense dudes, you know what I mean? But they're actually these really jovial, kind guys, and, you know, they definitely, like, you know, won't take crap, but they were really nice to us, and, some of them in particular are just like total sweethearts. So yeah, I've seen people who I mean, I don't know if this is the best, but like people who get like have me write on them and then get my crappy autograph just like on their skin. It literally looks like I just put a Sharpie on them, but it's a tattoo. I think that's like the most flattering thing ever, because it's like, it's definitely not stylized. You can tell that like we mean something to them, because like it's not cool, you know. It's literally, I have a terrible autograph. So I mean, I think it definitely used to be a little bit more oriented towards like skating culture, and kind of I've actually never been a skateboarder, but I did grow up listening to and hanging out with a lot of people who were like, you know, it was like Vans Warped Tour. So it was like it was like No Effects and blah, 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 and Pennywise and all these bands, Bad Religion. And you know, and then I think a lot of the emo bands started playing it, and then it transitioned from that into now it's more just like young kids, whatever young, like the kids you see hanging around town, you know, kind of loafing it out, you know, like, which is awesome. I mean, in a way, that's what skaters were when I was growing up. It's like kids who just like degenerate young kids, whatever they're listening to, whether it be like, you know, really intense metal or like, you know, pop punk, or, you know, this weird anonymous crunk core, or whatever these kids listen to, you know what I mean? It's like, so I think that's cool. I think it's less, you know, it's less exclusive, and I'm always all for that, you know what I mean? And I think there's still room for a lot of those, you know, seniority type punk bands like that. They always come back and play anyway, so it's like, it's cool.